currently I'm a part of Prime Focus. I head Prime Focus World India. And I have seen in terms of, so I look after VFX, animation and beauty for India for marketing and strategy. And I have realized when I see films, if I compare Hollywood to Bollywood, there are a lot of films we do in Hollywood as well, a lot of Hollywood films we do here. I've realized that slowly and steadily, even our producers, our directors are understanding the importance and the essence of giving, a bang for their buck, making them believe that what they are seeing is out of the world, to have audience experience which is enhanced. And I think a lot of Bollywood films are doing the same. Yes, the speed is slow. Of course, you have to have a decent share of understanding in terms of your return on investment and how much of money are you putting in. We still are in the age where we spend a lot of money in giving to a actor than looking at the production quality, but we are moving slowly. There are a lot of filmmakers who understand that it is important and imperative that the audience today wants much more than what they have been used to. So most of the time people have to push themselves to give that kind of effect. And I think some great stuff which I have witnessed is whether it is it's Dabang or whether it is Kai Poche, even to speak of Ravan. Or the latest which I can talk about is Dhoom. It did 500 crores. I think this is the only film in the history of India which has done that kind of box office. The kind of VFX the film had was visually orgasmic. They were absolutely beautiful. Each scene was a delight. The audience wanted to go and see and absorb more. And I think it was, I'm not going to say it was a far cry from what Hollywood does, but I think in terms of, we've started somewhere. And I think that's a great way of trying to do new things, trying to absorb and learn. The market is huge, specifically the VFX market in India. I remember when we saw Black is a visual delight. A lot of it was done by VFX on the film and trying to make it look larger than life. Or whether you see today a Great Gatsby where the set was there in Great Gatsby where Leonardo is standing and there are firelights happening, etc. Or you see a Total Recall. These are all wonders of a VFX film. Or Avatar. Avatar, I think, is the biggest example. Or even Spider-Man, which is the latest release today. So while I say Hollywood obviously is obviously a master in doing this, they've been doing a fab job because of the kind of experience, work, the monies which they spend, and the research which goes and the sensitivity which goes. I think India is a lot behind. Of course, this is my personal opinion. We are there, we are chatting with producers, are taking those right challenges. They want to give people a way for experience. Like I said, I gave you a couple of names right now. Or if you see the Dabang, where people whistled when Salman came out of the jeep, and he was primarily, he broke the glass from the jeep. These are all special effects. These are all scales and flavors of special effects of film. I think South Indian films do great special effects. Now currently, of course, they are in South, so we do not, being slightly more skewed towards Hindi language or English, we do not get to know of it, but most of the South Indian films have great special effects. And I think another market which is coming up slowly is animation. While animation is very huge in all across the globe, specifically with the likes of Shrek, or whether give me some examples, or whether you have Kung Fu Panda, or whether you have Nemo. India, I think, in animation is a long way from home, because like I said, that it is all about money and box office. So once we realize that a film takes that kind of effort, money, time and energy to create that kind of animation, I think there will be no holding back. But I think in this specific segment, we are at it. I mean, we've done the Mahabharatas and we've done the Hanumans of the world, and of course that genre has loved it, but when I compare it to Hollywood, I think we are a long way home. Another interesting thing which I have noticed in my tenure is how our Bollywood has started using 3D, or have understood that there is a new audience for 3D. So whether you see most of the horror films or most of the films trying to do, not trying to do 3D, there are a couple of films which happen in 3D because it is again giving another experience to the audience. So you're moving from 2D, which is your normal viewing, to a 3D where you have these glasses and you watch and it gives you just a magnanimous experience. So I think the entire business, the entire film marketing, I know there's a very thin line of difference between, I call it all under marketing. Is it because you are constantly providing your audience ways and means for visual delight? Whether you are talking to them for a film promotion, you're constantly trying to delight them in order for them to be able to spend that buck on a Friday evening or a Saturday or a Sunday to watch a film. Or you are, as a producer or as a post-production house, trying to enhance that visual element for a film in order for the audience to have a great effect, and he or she should feel that, oh, I've spent this much of money on the film and whoa, what a visual delight it was, or whoa, what a film it was. So I think those are the ways which are working. I mean, I see the specifically in this domain, so to speak, I see that VFX is going to go, it has great potential in India, and it is going to go a long way. Like I said previously, that most of the producers today are understanding that a VFX is not all about going on the post-production and saying that, okay, now I need VFX, put something. But they've understood that how planning is required, how operations is required, how it needs to be done at a level where when the film is in the scripting stage, so whether you need to, when you're executing it, do you need a different set of execution? The filmmakers are even getting into that, and I think that's great beginning, because when you are at a stage where you are at the drawing board, there's much more you can do while you're just creating magic once a film is shot. I am, of course, in this business. I'm eating and breathing and drinking literally VFX and animation and 3D in my current role, but I find it extremely fascinating how I have seen the entire cinema experience change in past 35 years, so to speak, or past 10 years, so to speak. Each film which comes astounds you, specifically by whether it's the storyline or the visual effects, or whether if it's a 3D film, the kind of 3D which is done. I mean, the greatest example I think I can give is Gravity. I mean, I cannot, could you ever think that you could shoot or you could see a man on moon? It's basically, it's about dreaming. And when you dream is when you put it on a canvas, and when you put it on a canvas, and that is when you will be able to deliver it. And I think that's what most of us are trying to do, that whether it is behind the scenes or whether when the film is produced and it is ready and up for the audience to absorb. I think, again, I'll just speak for Gravity for a minute, because I worked on that film, that's the film we've done. And when I saw the inserts, I was like, oh my God. I mean, how can you even produce something which is out in the space, and the kind of visual effects the film is showing, the way Sandra Bullock is in that, that hub, and when she falls down into the water, and when she's up in the space, and the way the meteors are going. I think that was like, my mouth was open. Of course, besides the 3D experience, which was visually so arresting, I was like, oh my God. So today it has no, I think imagination has no bounds. Another thing which is very interesting is, which I see, perhaps not for India in the recent times, but is 4D. 4D is going to be up for grabs. Of course, a lot of people who have traveled or have been privy would have seen bits of small films or short films in 4D format, but that's something which is again going to be very big. Like I said, and like I mentioned, it is all about enticing your audience the right way. And as long as a marketer, or as a producer, or as a studio, or as a individual who's in this business, as long as you keep exciting your audience and ensure and get them literally, you get them hooked by their balls, they will come back to you and watch your film. If you're not able to do that, then you're just going to be one Me Too, and you just come and go.